Ninotska Love. I just graduated from Wellesley College, and I'm originally from Ecuador, and I relocated in New York City. My occupation at the moment is just working from home. I'm working from the Kaplan Educational Foundation. That is a nonprofit organization that helps community college students to transfer into 4 year institutions. I'm also doing translations from English to Spanish and vice versa remotely. I love dancing, take pictures, post pictures, and at the same time try to connect with like friends, learn what is happening globally, especially in the area LGBTQ issues in the United States and also in the world. I consider myself an activist for the LGBTQ community in general, particularly for transgender and gender non-conforming individuals. But I think it's not something that I plan on doing. It's sort of like something that fall onto my shoulders in a way. Before going into Wellesley College, I try not to disclose to many people that I was a transgender woman, not because I was ashamed of it, but because I think the world in the past wasn't ready for it. And most of the times I was not feeling safe in a way where I can just openly share about that. So when I went to Wellesley College, I did an interview for the Associated Press, and I was very oblivious about the power of the Associated Press, and I did it. And so all of a sudden, I have people like messaging me from Boston Globe, Washington Post, and then I think I needed to do it. I think I am so grateful that that actually happened to me, because an activist is someone who's openly about the issues and the struggles that the person has gone through, and particularly shares that with the public and people in general to create a movement. So that is the reason why I consider myself an activist, because I have been able to share my platforms to speak on behalf of other people that may not have the same opportunities as I do. I do think that it's still challenging, but I think that now it's more possible than ever, especially with the opportunity that some people may have through and across their social media platforms, such as Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I think those platforms have allowed us to be more public, to be more visible. I will say that 10 years ago, that was not as possible as now, but also because mainstream people in the media have opened that possibility for us. And even though for us to share our narrative and stories with other people. I think it's absolutely essential to have youth people in every single field. And the reason why, it's because they are the younger generations. They can provide the change that the world may need, right? If we're thinking about Black Lives Matters, there were like young activists who decided to start that movement, and they were tired of like the bigotry and all the things that were happening to that community. And so in the same way, if I'm thinking about the LGBTQ movement, and especially the gay liberation through Marsha P. Johnson and also Sylvia Rivera, they were like youth people who decided to, okay, we're tired of this. We're gonna start this movement and creating rights and creating visibility. And so if we put that into the spectrum of like, oh, what we need to do, I think the youth is essential to change laws, to change legislations, to change the way the world is. I definitely thought that, oh, maybe people there won't allow me to express myself, but also express the ideas that I had thankfully I was able to count with people, count the support of other current students and also alumni. They were like extremely important for any movement, and especially people within campus as well. When it comes to faculty, they helped me a lot, and I'm very appreciative of that. I was able to put the one of the first Transgender Day of Remembrance like put together, and that to me in itself was really satisfactory, self-rewarding, and amazing, because we are creating the conscience of people, what is really affecting my community, right? Because I'm one of the only ones there. I was able to not change everyone's mind, but at least to put that into their radar. And I think that is extremely important, and especially they're younger than I am. So have that ability of showing visibility and tell these people this has been happening in the United States, this has been happening in the world. And I think you don't need to be an ally, but I want you to be aware that my community is suffering. So to me, doing that on campus was really, really eye-opening for myself, but also for them. Social media was really important. I was able to post something on social media, and then I share that face-to-face with faculty, on classes, in the different classes as well. And so they gave me like the different ideas that I needed to put this event together, because I was able to find funding for the event, found food. Sometimes like when it comes to like, food and beverages, that's an incentive for people to come and listen to what is really happening, right? And again, not everyone who was in that room identify as part of the LGBTQ community, but having allies to grasp a little bit of what's happening in my community was important to me, because I know that they are the ones who will eventually go somewhere else and spread that awareness, and that will multiply in X, Y, and Z amount. And that to me, it's the change that I'm trying to make. Definitely there were challenges. There was a point for me that I thought, oh, this is not going to be possible, because I wanted to make it really special. I was able to go to the departments and be like, hey, it's possible for you to support me in this cause. I think it's important to have those little connections with people like one-to-one. But at the same time, I know that it would have been more difficult if I didn't create those personal connections with them before that. Activism means different things for different people. There are people who are shy, and they probably won't be able to go on the streets and like show their activism, or they're not going to be able to go and talk to someone face to face. So send an email introducing yourself, who you are, what you're planning on doing, what are you standing for, what your goal is. That will help you, and in that way you don't have to show someone or be with someone face to face. If you want to see it from like a bigger perspective, I do think that the visibility for my community has absolutely improved. That visibility that has been created for my community has been really important. Also, I think the media, it is more interested in like our narratives, but there's so much more work to be done. I do want and hope to see a transgender woman character in a movie. I do want to see that in Hollywood, like completely being represented. So for example, Pose, it's a TV show from Fox that has a lot of transgender women, also non-binary people, gender non-conforming, gay people, lesbian people. They have that representation. And recently they were, I will say, snubbed a little bit in like the Emmy nominations, and they have really, really good episodes. One of them, I cry so much, and I think I watched that episode 8 times already, and it's because I feel so connected. So I wish that one day that's part of normal media and like normal representation. One of my proudest accomplishments could it being the first one when someone from Japan sent me a message on one of my social media platforms and told me that she was like extremely thankful for me advocating for students like being on the academic spectrum, because most of the times we don't see trans women in education. So she was really, really happy and thankful for that. And she's like, thank you for sharing your story. It has empowered me. I want to go to school in Japan. And I think she did, because they decided to open their women's colleges, allow transgender women to enter into the school. And then the other one would it be when the year after I entered into Wellesley, there was a transgender woman who anonymously posted that, oh my God, thank you, Ninotska, for opening the door for me. And I was like, I don't know, it's just really nice to know that you are creating like a little space, not only for myself, but also for the generations that are coming behind me. It's what I work for. I think just creating that small amount of visibility, not only for myself, but for someone else and for society to be more tolerable with them, it makes me happy, because I know that the future generations will have it way easier. And I think that's what previous generations have done for me. And I'm extremely grateful for that activism as well. My end goal would be that transgender, particularly transgender women or transgender men, transgender people in general, are able to be themselves, and also like the media focus more on the positive aspects other than like, oh my God, this transgender person was killed X, Y, and Z. So not only seeing sad stories, but also like the media enhance our story. Work that we do allow us to be who we are. And I think that to me in itself would be my end goal. Yeah, I mean, my social media is Ninotska Love, and thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for doing this, and I'm really, really happy doing it.